This free AI tool just wiped out $600 billion from one company in one day, and 99% of people cannot access it. So what I'm doing is I've unlocked DeepSeek's advanced reasoning engine so that by the end of this video, you can deploy it in less than 30 seconds with zero coding. So in this game-changing breakdown, I'm going to cover three core things, okay? Number one is why DeepSeek caused a $600 billion market loss and the hack that exposed 1 million users shortly thereafter. Okay. Number two is how to use PhD level advanced reasoning without getting hacked. And number three is 3 ways to safely use DeepSeek with one only taking seconds to deploy for free. For those of you that don't know me, I am Ryan Saley. I specialize in multiplying the capacity of executives and sales and marketing teams with AI. I've worked all the way from startups to publicly traded companies to create an unfair advantage with their teams, and worked with over 1,000 go-to-market executives throughout that process. So let's get started. I have some things I want to show you and unpack this. I have some facts and features as well as like how to actually use this and get this set up. So I'm going to share this with you right now, and you're going to love what I have for you today. So starting off, let's get into the why. What you're seeing here is with this is NVIDIA's stock market price, okay? And this is only a 5-day area that's covered within here. One of the things that you're seeing as within the yellow, their market cap was 3.6 trillion. However, by January 30th, it dropped to 3.007 trillion, which was approximately a $592 billion market cap drop in that time frame, right? The crazy thing is this is reflecting a loss of around 592 billion, and it all happened in one single day. I've never seen anything like this. It's one of the biggest drops in stock market history. Now, what I want to share with you is like why that happened, just so you have context. And so I broke this down into like 2 simple areas. Number one, what they used is it's a Chinese company that created this, and they created an open source model that's very cost efficient. And as you can see, it takes 11x less GPU hours, and allegedly the training is only $5.5 million in training costs. However, versus $100 million for GPT-4, I am not totally convinced of that because now there's evidence leaking out that they actually used data from OpenAI's model to train this. So I'm a little skeptic of this, all right? What this caused is massive fear in NVIDIA, which makes GPUs, which is what powers training for AI models. And then that led to a broader tech sell-off. As you can see, it wasn't just NVIDIA, Broadcom, ARM, TSMC, and then other ones like Dell, Oracle, and Supermicro Computer got dinged as well. As you look over it, there's a lot of short-term concerns, long-term concerns, and then key takeaways. Jevons paradox was something Satya Nadella talked about and actually tweeted about. It was, I think, like 3 a.m. And so the crazy thing about it is if the CEO of Microsoft, that's on his radar, you know it's a big thing, all right? So that's basically the why and the dollar value with it. The next part I want to talk to you about are the hacks. So I got very skeptical of using this on DeepSeek's website because of the fact that they had a lot of like information in there in the privacy agreement talking about how it's really going to affect. Like, they're going to look at your prompts, they're going to look at your use cases, and they could use that. All right. I don't want to share that data with a foreign company or a foreign country, I should say. And so what happened was they had 1 million log lines with API secrets, chat histories, and operational metadata that was left without authentication. And so effectively, this ended up getting hacked to a large-scale malicious attack on January 27th and January 28th, okay? So what I'm going to focus on is how you can successfully use this without getting hacked or exposing your data. And that's always one of the areas that, like, I make sure that when I'm working with these organizations, whether they're startup or enterprise organizations, is like, how do you protect yourself while taking advantage of this cutting-edge tool at the same time? And so first of all, I'm going to go to step number 2 is like, how do you use PhD level advanced reasoning safely? All right. And one of the favorite areas that I have here is good old ChatGPT. Now, I have a ChatGPT Teams user account. And one of the things you're going to see on here is there's a model dropdown. O1 is the advanced reasoning. Basically, DeepSeek is neck and neck. Some say it's better. Some say it's a little bit worse than this most advanced ChatGPT or OpenAI model that's out right now. Now, what I'm going to do is while I'm talking, I'm going to drop this and I'm going to have a prompt in here that's very simple, but I'm going to say, provide a marketing brief for an LLM with advanced reasoning. Let's give that's a pretty complex task to do. I'm not giving it a lot of understanding on how to execute that. But what you're going to see is it's going to go through a thinking process And this is the foundation of agents that we're using for this, okay? So this advanced reasoning is operating like how a human. Now, look how fast this is, okay? This is one of my favorite tools that I've worked with executives and helped them save 10 hours a week just by mastering this and integrating this into their work process of what they're doing. And as you could see, it created a briefing pretty quick, right? So we got the project overview, the purpose, the key message, the target audience, a second. And by the way, this prompt is crap, right? Like this is not very good, not very detailed. I did not give it much to work on, but I did that by design so you could see how advanced the model is with advanced reasoning, okay? Target audience, secondary, competitive landscape, key features and benefits, brand promise, APIs, marketing channels and tactics, timeline and milestones, budget overview, and all these other next steps, okay? So it's funny, it's even got a fake contact this marketing team, which this company doesn't exist. As you look at it though, it's called Advanced Reasoning Language Model, right? Which is kind of lame from a creativity perspective. So this is how advanced reasoning works. You could use this. A Teams account is $30 per month, all right? Number two, like to shift in, okay, now how do we use DeepSeek, which is a similar model, but free? And one of the things that I noticed, and this is wild, considering that Microsoft backs OpenAI, they're actually providing DeepSeek available on Azure, which is their cloud service, as well as GitHub, which is one of the largest programming, like basically agents, if you will, or co-pilots in the world, okay? So now what they just included, this is like January 29th, right? They just released this, okay? So as you could see here, it talks about how to use it in a trustworthy environment, what you could do with it, how you could try and build agents with it. So very interesting. And I was surprised that Microsoft jumped on this. And it's funny, a few days later, OpenAI released that they have proof that DeepSeek trained on their data and basically copied what they did. Okay, so that's part of the reason maybe why it was so cheap. However, it's still very interesting. It opened up a lot of eyes, all right? So that's number one. This is a little more technical in nature if you want to go through Azure to do this. Another example, if you want to have access to this that you could use, is on Hugging Face. Hugging Face basically has open source models, which is what DeepSeek is, so that you could build on them and do other capabilities with it. And so this requires a little bit more technical in nature because a lot of times you have to download these locally or put these in a separate cloud. Most users do not know how to do that or do not want to take the time to do that, okay? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Microsoft model and the DeepSeek model just to start off so that you understand what are the options if you're more technical. However, there's something really cool where you could leverage it within Perplexity too, and it does not require to be technical for this. One of the things that you'll see is they made it now available in Pro Search and hosted in the US, okay? Perplexity made a run at this so that they basically can give you access. Now, this Pro model is $20 a month. It's amazing because it's got advanced level reasoning and search. And check this out. You click on it, you can get that with basically DeepSeek or the OpenAI model that I just showed you, all right? And that's just the drop down. So what I'm doing is I'm going to say, all right, provide me 3 of the most cutting edge resources for AI advanced reasoning so that I can use them to build agents, okay? Once again, let's make it 5. Not the best prompt in the world, but what I'm showing you is how these models are starting to advance. And it's really like a combination of knowing when to use them, where to use them, and the right model. So there's like kind of a sequence. It's like baking a cake where you want to have that right order and system in terms of doing this. Okay. So now this is the beauty, and this is why people get so excited about R1 or DeepSeek is because of it. Look, it's explaining in real time how it's thinking like a human, okay? I'm beginning the analysis. Let's tackle this query. Looking at the search, okay? It's references one of the models. I need to ensure they're most recent and impactful, so that's kind of cool. I think that's why people are gravitating towards this because it goes from that black box mode where you don't understand how the AI model is working all the way down to real simple human thought level reasoning. And so let's see what it came up with, all right? It came up with, all right, OpenAI, open source models, 01, 03. Okay, by the way, I did not talk about 03 yet. I am super excited about that one. It's coming out and supposed to be released within the next week or two. I'll definitely stress test that. I looked at the benchmarks. It's going to be insane what the capabilities are of that, but we'll save that for another future video, okay? So it's got in here the 01 advanced reasoning. It's got Salesforce Atlas. It's got Microsoft Pi. It's got reflection and then Google Gemini fast thinking and some pretty technical details on here. So once again, the cool thing about it was this level of reasoning that it goes through. Once again, that's why people are so lit up by this, because it's that transparency. Okay. So that's number one. That's $20 a month. Now, the last and final one that I'm going to show you, there's this website called Chatbot Arena. So you can type in lmarena.ai, lmarena.ai. I have no affiliate with any of these companies and affiliation, I should say. I do not provide affiliate services or anything like that. But what you can see on here is you can look at a leaderboard, right? You can look at direct chat. You can look at these models as they stack up. But what I wanted to show you today is like how you could use that DeepSeek and deploy it in seconds. Okay, so pop on this website, go to direct chat, and then all you have to do is click on this drop down and have DeepSeek R1 selected. Now, the cool thing about it is you could use any of these other models, right? And here's what I would say is like, this is a good starting point to stress test things in a really fast, quick manner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide the same prompt I provided OpenAI so you could see what it's like. I just sent that off. Now, what you're going to see here is I just provided a marking brief for an LLM with advanced reasoning. So the same one. Okay, so this is what it's building out. Now, the thing I like about this is it illustrates more creativity than I think the O1 model did. Now, don't get me wrong. I love O1 with some of the capabilities, and I have the ability to, I'm going to test this a lot more significantly. But as you can see, it's a little bit shorter. It talks about target audience, secondary, core messages, subordinate points. All right. Now, it's going to go all the way through for metric success, tone and style, next steps. All right. And so these are like some of the examples of how you could use this. And once again, the interesting thing in here, though, I do not see the reasoning like we did in Perplexity, which is super interesting. I did not notice that before. So I guess like that's one of the downsides of maybe using it in this model. However, at the same time, you could try it here. You try it in Perplexity. You could try it in Azure. And those are three examples ranging all the way from technical to two that are like super simple. So just to kind of wrap things up, what I showed you today was basically what could cause a $600 billion drop in the company in the market in one day. I showed you why they have the security. I also showed you how to access these tools, what PhD level reasoning is, and how you can start thinking about that in terms of the future of what you're doing, but then how to access cutting edge models, deploy them in seconds for free. Okay. So this is something new that I'm going back to YouTube, and I want you, if you enjoyed this video, drop a note in the comments. Let me know about it. I read all those comments personally. At the same time, I would love your feedback on what else you would like to see. All right. I do look at those details in depth, and it does take a lot of time to set up these videos and make sure they're impactful. And I'm going to continue to get better and better with what we're doing. So I want to make sure that I get your feedback on what you're looking for so I can serve you at the highest level. So appreciate you joining this. Check out the next video, and I will see you soon.